Imagine the in-game vault didn't suck so hard in Destiny 2. Imagine you could have all your armor and weapons categorized and sorted automatically. Imagine you could drag and drop any item into customizable bins where you could store and save your god rolls and favorite exotics so you could easily find them and not spend all that time scrolling and scrolling just trying to find that roll you absolutely know is in there somewhere. Imagine you could save entire drip loadouts with your shaders attached in the vault where you could call them up from the character screen. Imagine decreasing the reliance on keeping that companion app by your side as standard to quickly search and pull out weapons as you need them. In this video, I've come up with a solution to replace the tired current vault and replace it with something that would make every single Destiny player's life much easier and better. This year we've gotten a few changes to the vault access and capacity that are steps in the right direction for Bungie, but haven't touched on basic functionality and fundamentals of how the thing works. Since basic type and search abilities are farmed out to the companion app, it still exists outside of game and becomes an extra effort for every single player. Currently, the vault can be accessed from orbit as well as the courtyard and helm, and the size has jumped up by a massive 100 spaces to a total 700. When accessing the vault, you're presented with a very bare bones structure of weapons, then armor, plus incidentals. It's basic, to say the least, and looks like a black hole of items you wanted to tuck away for later. The very first thing I'm going to do is be a greedy little piggy and increase the total capacity to 1,000 in total to accommodate extra items and combinations I will be adding to the vault. This will be essential to the combinations function that I'm going to add and I'll talk about later. Don't get me wrong, external sites like DIM and LightGG that offer build databases are a great resource, and they give in-depth sorting where you can find specific roles in your own vault, but seriously, why is this not in-game? Even a watered-down version of it. To make it super clear what the problems are right now, we should go to the vault that's live in-game, where you'll be greeted with items placed into 12 pages with 3 possible categories. You can sort into newest, rarest, or quantity. There's also a mobile phone icon that reminds you that you can go out of game and use the Destiny 2 companion app, or maybe the external website to sort and find the armor or weapons you need right now. What I'll go into is the changes that I've made, which are adding a new bin system, category filtering, tagging, and search. Here we go. But we're going to start with bins. The new system I'd introduce is a bin system. A bin is a place where you will have items stored as standard like weapons, armor, and more, but also you can create bins that you can tag and place whatever you want inside it, whether that be god rolls, perk combinations, or just cool exotics. It's up to you. The bins would be indexed and be easily searchable and would contain personally customizable names and icons for whatever is inside each bin. The main filter will be a 3-tier system to help you find items that you're looking for quickly, if you don't specifically know which one you want immediately. Otherwise, you can use the new search field, which works as a standard search and result field. Section 1 is an overall scope of the kinds of items that you'll find in your vault. Armor, weapons, mixed items like sparrows, ships, inventory, and also a customized drip set. I've added 4 extra customizable areas that you can tag items from any category and place them into this bin. It's up to you what you'd like to put in there, but maybe these extra loadouts from legacy armor and weapons you'd like to set aside. Here will be perfect for this. A useful small change is also to include the number of items in each bin, which I've added to the bottom right hand corner of each button. Once you've picked the first selector, then section 2 option appears. And this is dependent on what you've picked first. So armor will show subclass, weapons will show ammo type, and so on. So picks are contextual. The third filter selection is once again dependent on the first two picks. If it's a stored weapons, then it shows archetypes. Each choice is tied to the previous choice and so dynamic, and not as much of a set pattern. Each of the third selector buttons have the amount of items that are contained within it also. Under the standard bins, you have customizable bins. I have 4 here, but there can be more. These behave differently to the standard bins you can't change. The customizable bins, you have full control over. You can scroll along the pages or items, or filtered items if you prefer, and pick what you want to go inside each of these. As I mentioned earlier, these are up to you on what you wish to put in there. The vault is your oyster. What is pretty useful is the ability to pull multiple items from the vault back into your character screen and equip them directly. This might save quite a bit of time individually doing this for just one piece, like the normal process is. Something new I've added to the standard categories is the drip collections icon. Here, we now have the ability to save drip from the appearance customization screen directly into your vault, where you can save the armor and shader attached to it, and it's tagged and part of that collection stored. Drip collections can be named any way you wish, and you can swap in and out armor within the vault, and of course equip the collection straight into your character screen. Naming each collection is completely up to you, and you can be as creative as you want. I've added 6 collection slots, but that's easily expandable to 9 or more if need be. Drips are separated into 3 classes if you have all 3 characters, so you can easily push a full collection to one of the other characters, even if you're not actively playing with that character right now. Search. A simple search option within the vault is something that only exists in the Destiny 2 companion app. My whole design is to offer a solution so you don't need to constantly use the other apps and websites to achieve basic functionality within the game. Say you're looking for rolls on an exotic armor piece that you've stored away in the vault. This isn't possible in-game unless you manually find the page it's on and hover over each individual armor piece that you're looking for. What if the search can find perk, power levels, element type, or even combinations that you need just from the input field? If I was to make one adjustment to this, it would be to add a button that would call up the vault immediately. I would also add a hover function over the armor or weapons that expands the equipped and optional items, so you can click the add button to pull directly from the vault. This is just a minor addition, but it's a quality of life adjustment that I think is worth the effort. While it's a nice idea to access the vault from orbit, being able to quickly pull from the vault from the character screen just makes a whole lot of sense for me. This was the best place to add the button, but if you have more ideas of where it could go, make sure to let me know in the comments below. Currently, the vault we have in Destiny 2 is designed to be basic and force the player base to use the companion app, and it definitely works. But why move basic functionality like search and sorting items to an outside of game app that honestly can be slow as hell? My design is to put the power of sorting and filtering back in the hands of the player and making storage more transparent and more comfortable for every player in-game. In my opinion, there should be an in-game solution to having DIM or the companion app by your side for every moment you draw open the game. These are not groundbreaking features, from simple sorting to customizable bins and adding extra features like a search function so you can find the role in your own vault simply and easily, and not spend time scrolling through pages of weapons and armor that you need to open manually to see what the role is and understand why you stashed it there in the first place. So I'm actually interested to see what you thought of these new in-game additions and what you think is necessary and essential in your own vault. Are you happy with the vault size, features, and functions as it stands today, or would you like to see these features appear in-game at some point? Leave your comments in the section below. next design video will be a god roll notification system in-game, so that should be a fun one to design, and I'd like to see what you think. If you'd like to see more design changes and features added to Destiny, let me know and I'll see how I would approach the feature and maybe bring it to life. I'm Neph, like, sub and comment, and I'll see you in the next one.